Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the podcast or whatever I'm calling this. Maybe it sounds good, maybe it doesn't, but who knows? We are joined here with that guy Kira. I'm. You know what? Yeah, just who are you? Who are you?
It's Kyro,
Oh, okay.
Kyro.
Yes, yes.
I make stupid Dark Souls videos about me hating my life. About sums up what I do.
um. So, like, what type of content do you make?
Uh, I do challenge runs, but I try to make it more on the funny side. I don't wanna be too serious because I don't wanna be like a grumpy old man one day. So I kinda like to make it joking and, fun. I don't try to give myself too difficult of challenges to do.
That is very true. I definitely understand that. Um, like there's a couple challenges that I avoid because I think they're gonna be too tedious. I just do whatever is fun, hard enough, and hopefully good content. But
Honest, good
today,
point.
today we're gonna be talking about Elden Ring. So the first question for you is, what is the best area in the game, in your opinion? Area could be like um I'm bad with names, but the red area, Limgrave, or you can break it up into other sections if you are really obscure.
Okay. Is Am I allowed to say anything in the DLC?
Yeah, you yeah, it's Elden Ring as a whole, yeah.
Okay, okay. Mm, it's a hard one. There's a lot of areas.
Oh yeah, 100%. The DLC also just adds so much coolness as
Yeah.
well.
I guess I'll give you 2 separate answers, one for base game and then one for the DLC.
Fair enough.
Um, in base game, I'd probably have to say Raya Lucaria, the academy, like, when you first enter into it, and
Yeah,
it's, like, all blue and magical. It reminds me a lot of, Irithyll from Dark Souls 3, and it's just super pretty.
that is true.
And then for the DLC, ooh, ah, trying to remember what the name of it is. I don't The Shaman Village, that's what it's called. It's like a giant flower field, and it's just beautiful.
Peaceful, yeah.
Yeah, it's more towards the back of the map, I think.
Yeah.
I could sit
Um,
at that place for hours.
100%. Like, it's just, you can just yeah, it's
It's
just
amazing,
yeah, that's the best word to say, yeah, it is just purely amazing.
especially when
Um,
it's nighttime.
oh, yeah. Some of my favorite areas, so for, like, like what you said for the base game, I really like, in base game wait, now I'm starting to falter. What is that? If we're just going off of looks, maybe Farm in Missoula, because that's pretty crazy, and a
Solid
lot to
answer.
take in. Um, and if we're talking DLC, I think, my answer is 50-50. It could either be, I forgot the name of it. I've only gone through the DLC once, um, but the castle for, Mesmer, his castle and whatnot to get up to him is pretty, cool. I mean, personally, I like the architecture in that place, or I like
Mhm.
the blue flower field, because that's another really good area for just, like, peaceful
Oh,
and everything.
yeah, I remember
It's
that
a
yeah, that
vibe.
place is awesome.
Then the first time you see it, you're like, "Oh, phew, yo, that's crazy."
There's, like, a rotted dragon in it that probably killed me for, like, 2 hours straight in that area.
Yeah. I need to go back and finish some of those bosses. The reason I haven't even completed it all the way. I was stuck on consort for I think like 3 months, and I
Ugh,
still haven't beaten it.
it's a hard fight.
Oh, yeah,
I think I think I
ugh.
sat down for, like, maybe 6 hours one day, and I finally got it. I was able to almost, like, no hit the boss fight. It was torture.
Oh, yeah, and this was, like, right as it came out too, pre-patched some of these, and I was
Mhm.
just like, "Dude, please." Um, that's how I knew that I might have not been as great as I first thought, but it is also one of the hardest, in my opinion, one of the most hardest bosses in all of FromSoft, in my
I think
opinion.
I think it was, like, just the hardest experience through their games. The Shadowlands is rough.
Oh, yeah. They're
The
like, "You know what? We're not gonna give you any tips, just go on."
It was rough. Midra, the, frenzied god or lord, was a
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard fight as well.
Um, a random fact about that area, you know the characters that if they see you, you, like, instantly get frenzied?
Mhm. The ones
You
from
can actually
Bloodborne?
yeah, well, not the ones from Bloodborne, but the ones from, Elden Ring, over by the Midra area or whatever.
Mhm.
You can actually parry one of them and get a, talisman.
Oh, yeah, 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 I remember doing that. It's, which one is it? Which
I think it's like, if you get frenzy, you do, like, more damage or something? I
mm,
could be wrong. It's something with
it
frenzy, I'm pretty sure.
it's always so cool seeing, like, the Easter eggs people find.
Oh, yeah. My friend was like, "You can parry this," and I sat there, and I died like 12 times, and then I finally got it. I'm like,
Yeah, same, same.
it's just like I didn't expect after dying so much that this is a real thing, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, it is."
It was a very
And
small
some
window
people
to parry.
oh, yeah, and some people still don't even know about, like, its existence and everything, so I'm like, "Oh, perfect, opportunity to learn."
Yeah.
Well, the next question I have for you is what is your favorite boss? That is a hard one.
Uh, uh, favorite boss, you said?
Yeah, there's a little bit to choose from.
Okay. It is a really hard answer for Elden Ring. A lot of my favorite bosses probably lie in the DLC now, so hmm. Wow, that is a really hard question.
And there's also, like, hundreds of answers to choose from, so it's very difficult to just try to pinpoint,
Yeah.
like, 1 or 2.
I'll give you another 2 answer.
Alright.
I'll do one from base game and then one from DLC. Base game, I'll probably have to do oh, it's still hard. Probably Malekith. It's always just a
That is
good
yeah,
answer.
can't go wrong.
His lore is pretty cool.
He's a cool dog or whatever he is.
Yeah, my favorite thing about him is that, like, in lore, we don't get hit by him, like, at all, like, once. Makes it really cool.
We're
And
just that
then
strong.
DLC, I DLC, I'd probably say Mesmer just 'cause his fight feels like a dance. Like, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
constant movement.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Um, yeah, I definitely agree with Mesmer. That's probably one of my favorite fights as well. It gives, I don't know if you've played Hollow Knight, but he reminds me of, like,
Oh,
Grim.
dude, I u Quirrell used to be, like, my mascot for my channel. I love Hollow Knight.
Yeah. Mesmer and, like, Quirrell or not Quirrell, and Grim kind of, like, give, like, the same type of dance vibes in my opinion,
Yeah.
which is really why I really like that boss fight. Now there's not really too many others that, like, come to mind immediately, but Uh, yeah, definitely Mesmer. If we're talking main game, maybe Radon. But I think just there's it's very hard because I don't say like a lot of them are bad per se, except for like some of the gimmick fights. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's very hard to choose. Well, we were talking about the best area and the best boss. What do you think the worst area is?
Oh, man, I don't really hate a lot of the areas in Elden Ring.
It is very hard to choose. You could say
No,
like
I got my answer.
what?
I
What do you got?
hate the Halleck tree so much.
That is true.
I dread going through it every single time.
I personally get lost so often or just not sure where to go. And
Mhm.
like the enemy placements definitely could be better.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of everything everywhere.
100%, yeah.
I always get
Uh,
lost in the actual tree, and that's where I just lose it.
yeah. That is 100% reasonable. Um mm, what I think out of like, if we're talking the worst area, I think possibly in my opinion, it's one of the coolest areas, don't get me wrong, but going through it, I think once, maybe twice if you're lucky, is, in the DLC where you go and try to fight Mesmer or, Medra? What's his
Midra?
yeah, him, because those guys, if they see you, you're done, you're dead.
Mhm.
No, like going through there is very I mean, it's scary, first of all, and it's like, oof, you gotta be really careful. I think I've died more times in that area than I've died to Mesmer in total, or Mesmer and Midra.
That's
Like,
fair.
it's very, painful to traverse, but once you're fully out, you're like, "Okay, thank God." Um, I definitely have flashbacks. Anyways, what do you think the worst boss is? There are some pretty bad ones, but there's a lot.
Mm, worst boss. I have one that always, for some reason, never fails to kill me, and it's probably Red Wolf Radagon. Every time.
He is a
I hate that
fa
thing.
fast dog.
I I can never it's so weak, but, like, when you're so early in your playthrough going through it for the first time, or how many ever times you've done it, he just hits so hard.
100%. It's just so much.
Yeah, I hate that boss, even though it's in my favorite area.
That is that is pretty reasonable. I think one of the, worst bosses, in my opinion, I have to give it to Necromancer Garrus. Um, that is, the one with the skeletal skulls, and it's like you have, like, snail creatures, and it's like a gank fight in the base game.
Is
It's
it the
very
one where the volcano is?
yeah, it's like over I'm pretty sure it's over where the volcano is,
Okay.
and, like, he, like, spams magic, and it's like a NPC versus, like, you and some enemies. It is so terrible because, like, he'll do so much damage before you can even basically come to the arena, especially if you're
Yeah.
on New Game Plus, like it is just one of those random bosses, but, like, that boss in particular is way too hard for just some random fight.
I faintly remember it. I think I killed it once, and I never did it again.
Yeah, that's a place that I do not wanna go back.
Oh, now that I think about it, bosses that absolutely suck are, like, the NPC fights in the tombs in the DLC. I hated those.
Oh, true.
The
That
the night when
yeah.
you first walk into the DLC, I was stuck on that for, like, the first hour of the release. It was
Oh,
horrible.
yeah. I remember yeah, I had that, same, uh, mindset is everyone else is gonna be trying to speed run and try to see all the cool things. I'm just gonna stay in this tomb and try to beat this guy until I win." And then
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, whoosh, this is not it."
I eventually just gave up and came back later.
Yeah. I was like, Dog, everyone else is, like, almost done with it now. I should probably move on."
I remember me and my friend were playing it at the same time, like, in a call with each other, and he just didn't stop, and he was getting so mad at it. It was very funny because he started, like, hitting his desk a little bit, he started getting a little bit mad. It was very funny.
Yeah, definitely one of Dark Souls moments.
We all have
What?
it.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Alright, this one this next question is, going to be, what is your highest level character?
Um,
You can just, like, rough ball it, you don't have to be specific.
I it's probably the character I did the DLC with. Probably about 300 something. No, like 250.
That's pretty fair. Um, I think mine might be 210, 220. I actually went
Reasonable
into
area.
the Yeah, I went into the DLC, um, with one of my other accounts that was 160. That's probably why it's so difficult.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like,
fair.
you need to be stacked for the DLC.
I
It's
also
not like any of the other games.
mhm. When I first went to it, um, the fragments, the Skidoo fragments or whatever they are, I was
Yeah,
very late to collect them. I was, like, halfway through it, and I was, like, at level 4.
gosh. Yeah, um, I remember fighting the skeletal guy down by, Saint Trina,
Mhm.
and I had, like, a very, very low one. I'm like, "Dog, I do not wanna mess with this," so I sat down for, like, a couple hours, collected, like, almost to max, and absolutely demolished him.
That's a fun fight, though. I love that fight.
That is true. It also gives that type of, dance vibes in my opinion.
Mhm. I love the fire that
Oh,
he,
yeah.
like, bring up from the floor you to jump over.
It also really gives, like, Madeir vibes because of the same, like, arena. It's literally, like, almost one to one.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you you can
Dude,
swear.
I, like, shit my pants when I seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that.
I was
Um,
terrified.
I think I was terrified of a lot of things in the DLC, mainly because I was just like, "What is that?"
Mhm.
Um, especially, like, when Mesmer took out his eyes, I was like, "What the fuck?"
I wasn't expecting that. That was really cool.
Alright, let's see. What is your favorite ending?
Favorite ending? Mm, probably the Ronnie ending. I feel
That's
like it
so
just has
true.
the most meaning, and it's also, like, the most, like, pretty one out of all of them.
That is very true. Plus, you get Maiden in the end.
Yeah. The best one, arguably.
100%. That I usually go for Ronnie. Me though, like I said, Ronnie is probably one of my favorite, but like right next to it has to be the frenzy one
Mhm.
because that's just like a really cool cutscene, um, as well. But yeah, definitely Ronnie does take the place in my opinion.
I think it also would make the most sense if it was, like, the canon ending.
Yeah. Um,
I hope to see her in Night Rain, though. That'd be cool.
the Ronnie boss.
That would be really cool. That could be really cool.
Now I'm thinking about Night Rain, now I'm imagining, Ronnie and a Tarnished that isn't you. So, like, Elden Ring happened a couple years ago, so in Night Rain, it would be, like, a couple years later. So Ronnie and Ronnie's husband or wife or whatever. like, gets, like, summoned as well, so it's a 2v1, and you have to
Yeah,
fight,
we'd
like, the
lose.
old you. Yeah. Like, it would be like I don't know. I don't know how they would do it, but, like, if that was implemented, that'd be sick. Anyways,
Mhm.
do you have any goofy experiences, whether it be PvP or PvE? Anything, like, remotely
Mm.
you're like, "Wow, that was a silly moment right there."
Um, yeah, actually, I didn't expect to have an answer for this. When I Elden Ring, for, like, as soon as it came out, I played the game endlessly, launch. I
Yeah.
made it to, uh, festival, and since it was pre-nerf, I was getting absolutely blasted constantly, so I kept, like, trying to experiment with the fight, and then I figured out that, as soon as you spawn into his arena, run straight back all the way to the cliff of the or the wall cliff area, his AI, breaks completely, and he acts as if he's just fighting ghosts for the entirety of the fight, which I think I might have been the first person or some of the first people to figure that out, because I see people now doing it, but it's like a newly known thing.
Yeah.
So that's something I discovered. I thought was pretty funny, but, as soon as you got him to, like, half health, he would just immediately target back onto you, and the trick wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah. Um, I personally can't really think of anything, like, absolutely crazy, but that encounter or glitch or whatever you wanna specify that as reminds me of, I think I was at, like, Ray Lucaria at the time or whatever,
Mhm.
and I went through a teleporter, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it gives you the Blessed Dew talisman right next to the golem inside uh, the golden place, Lindell.
Yeah,
Um, so, like, I got teleported there and I didn't go in the normal way, and this was like you said, like, a couple of days into launch, I got invaded, and they actually pulled up the elevator, so I went down into Lindell without killing the sentinel at the front or the 2 great ones. So I was super underleveled and I was confused on where to go.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah, I
great.
I I made my way, like, all the way around, and I'm like, "What's this fog wall? Why can't I go?" But it turns out I was on the other side of where the sentinel was.
Mhm.
I didn't know that, and I was like, "I should probably come here later." And then I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
I wouldn't know what to do. I would be so lost.
Oh, yeah. I was like, "What?"
It's
'Cause I knew it had to be something that was, like, not supposed to happen.
yeah,
Um, and I was like, why is there these big people, 'cause the what are they called? The people on the wheels? They're big and
people in the
scary.
wheels, big and
They're
scary with big wheels.
yeah, and they grab you, and they throw you inside.
What are their names? I know what you're talking about, the things that, like, they open up, like, their chests, like, tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember
But yeah,
getting sent to the volcano with those.
yeah. I saw those for the first time after I went down the elevator, and I was like, how am I supposed to fight these?" Especially because I was sincerely underleveled because I needed to still fight Radon and, like, I think I only killed Godric
Mhm.
and, like, a
Oh,
couple other main
I remember their
bosses.
names. They
What
are
are they?
called the abductor virgins.
Yes, yes.
Those things are, they're neat. They help me with my, challenge runs on Elden, so I can't complain.
Plus, they can actually, like, get a lot of souls too, so
Yeah. Did you, this is another, like, goofy moment, I guess. In the Consort Radahn fight, when he goes into his meteor phase, if you just constantly jump, it bugs out his fight, and he just spawns back on the ground, and he doesn't do his meteor attack.
I did not know that.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Please, please still be in the game.
I think it is. As soon as he goes into the air, all you have to do is just keep jumping, and he'll fall back down. So
That
I think it's still in the game.
please let that be in the game so I can officially beat the DLC. I think I might have to just replay the DLC because I
Mhm.
think I've lost my groove. Because I haven't played. The last time I played Elden Ring was like a year ago now. So yeah, I haven't been playing. Unfortunate. I need to
It's
get
been a
back
minute.
on. Yeah, literally. And the once like I definitely don't want to immediately just oh yeah let's try this consort. No, we would have to grow again.
Mhm.
So I think I
I
might do a challenge run for the DLC.
I completely forgot that Bale was a fight. I should have picked that for one of my favorite fights.
True. Bill's a great curse you. Bale.
That was such a cool and fun fight, dude. I loved that.
Yeah. I think I was a little bit over, like, I had more, skibbity whatever they're called. I
Mhm.
had that at, like, max,
Scat
and,
fragments.
yeah, I had that,
I,
like, almost at max, and but it was a good fight.
It was a really fun fight. I did his fight. I think he was the first boss I did in the DLC, sadly. So it was really hard, but it was still really fun.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see how you could just get into a groove of things.
Mhm.
One sec. Um, do you think there's a underused spell or weapon in the game? It could be like a underdog, or, I mean, you could just, like, list, like, cure poison. Uh,
Let me pull up the weapon list real quick because I definitely have an answer. Uh, let's see. Uh-oh. Hold on, I know it exists.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've used it. I had to have.
There's definitely a lot of options.
Ah, dude, no. I swear. Maybe I'm in the wrong category. Maybe it's a straight sword.
There's a lot of categories, so yeah, I definitely understand, if it gets hidden,
I
especially if you're
think
just
it
on the yep.
mm, lost it again. I think a weapon I wish I've seen people use more would be the Sword of Saint Trina, the one in, Caelid. Wait, there's some sleeping sword in Caelid. I don't remember what it's called.
Does it have like a fog ability for the, L2 or whatever?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think it might have been in a chest in Caelid?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do yeah.
Or the coated sword, like the lightsaber you find in the
Oh, yeah.
real round table hold. I like that weapon a lot.
I like the flick. Pretty sure that's the weapon with that has
Giant
like a flick.
finger.
Yeah. That's another one.
That's a good one. Um, wonder what spells would I'd consider to be not used as much. Um, I'd say probably about like any of like the dragon spells. I've always thought that they were cool, but they're not really ever used or anything.
It's true.
I
Um,
always liked those ones a lot.
I really like the, Plaza Juice X one as well. That one's
That
really
one's
cool,
fun.
but I think, like, it's just the wind up is what stirs people away.
Mhm.
It does pretty good. I think it just needs a little bit more of a damage buff, like, for PvE, um, or just, like, a little bit of a little tweaking.
Yeah.
Besides that, like, I think it would like because if you try to, like, use that on, like, Malekith, it's gonna be very difficult, but if you're going against, like, a slow boss, like, Plastiducex first stage, you can do a lot of damage, but I think just people like to use, like, a Black Wind Tornado or, some other just big hitting things like the Black Flame.
Mhm. That's, like, a big problem I had with the Bale the Bale spells, is that they just took way too long to use.
Yeah. I think if they just made it a little bit faster, even if the damage wasn't completely there, I feel like if they made all of their weapons, like, the same type of speed, it would entice people to use it more.
Mhm.
Like, they could, like, bring the damage down if they definitely don't wanna have crazy fast numbers, like the sparkling aromatics in the DLC that you can just spam and things die immediately.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um, so, like, they can, like, make things faster, but just, like, remove a little bit more of the damage if that's their problem. Because, like, we don't the thing about Elden Ring is that it's a fast game, but having a very slow weapon. I think the only exceptions, what should be slow, is, like, big ballistas, you're having you're a slab of metal, like, that makes a little bit more sense, but, like,
Mhm.
if it's lighter, it should be going, like, faster, and it shouldn't feel like you're playing Dark Souls 1 with
Yeah,
the slowness.
that's fair. That's kind of how I'm wondering how they're gonna do it with, Night Rain, since Night Rain is even more of, like, a fast-paced game.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they're gonna do with the bigger weapons.
I feel like like I said, I haven't played it, I haven't seen too much, like, about the weapons, but I feel like they might just either speed it up or just have only fast-paced weapons.
Mhm.
Um, or like Moonlight Greatsword, yes, it's kind of slow, but, like, there's definitely slower things, but I think, like, Moonlight Greatsword might be, like, where they cap it out off, and I don't know if they're gonna have, like, the colossal huge weapons.
I think they are,
Um,
oh, keep on, sorry.
there he
You
goes.
you can continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. What was I saying?
You were saying something about, like, capping the Moonlight Greatsword speed at with, like, the rest of the bigger weapons.
Yeah, I don't think, like, huge, bonk weapons, like, I'm trying to think about the one with the purple ability, that's, like I think it's, like, 20 to 30 pounds. Like, the buildup or, like, the Ruined Greatsword, for example, that's a big slab, and it takes forever, but it does a lot of damage. So I feel
Mhm.
like the Night Rain probably won't have that type of slowness. I feel like they'd limit how, like, I think the slowest thing might be the Moonlight Greatsword. I don't think they'll go too much after that, but I could be wrong. It does seem like they're gonna be reusing, quite a lot of iconic weapons, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're, I'm pretty sure they're using all weapons from Elden Ring. I think that's been confirmed, but I don't know if they're doing DLC. But I also know that there's a decent amount of, Dark Souls weapons being brought in there as well.
Yeah. Um, personally, a underused I mean, it is just very difficult to get these, is scythes. Um, personally, the Halo Scythe and the Grave Scythe. The
Mhm.
Grave Scythe is dropped by, like, an undead, and the Halo Scythe is dropped by clean knights. or Rotten Clean Rot, whatever their name is.
Yeah.
Um, Both are very difficult to get, but, like, that's probably one of my favorite, builds that I've played, is I have 2 scythes because, first of all, the dual wielding is very nice, and then the Halo scythe, Mikola Rings of Light, it goes far enough so that you can hit people from far away, and then if you're close, you can switch to the Grave Scythe, and you can put any, Ash of War on it. So you can put in the Black Flame Tornado and just win if they get close.
That's
It's
awesome. I love
it's
scythes.
really nice, yeah. And it's, like, really smooth as well. Good for,
Mhm.
crossplay as well, um, and
Quick
everything,
question.
like yeah?
Am I able to take this phone call real quick? I'll be only like 2 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And the next question that I have for you is what pulled you in to Elden Ring? What got you into it? What called at you? Or was it just
Mm,
pure chance?
it wasn't something that really called me. I got introduced to FromSoft around, I'd say, about 2021. My friend introduced me to Dark Souls 3, and I played through that, and it was too hard for me at the time. So I put it down, and then Elden Ring came out, or Elden Ring uh, was being close to release, and it had a lot of hype around it. And my friend said, kind of almost blackmailed me anyway. In a way, he said that he'd only play it with me if I beat Dark Souls 3. So I just sat down one day and I beat Dark Souls 3 in like maybe like a day or two, and then I played Elden Ring and I fell in love with it, and I just put countless hours into it, and it's like my favorite game of all time.
Definitely sound yeah, it's yeah, no, I agree.
It's a truly an amazing experience for your first time going through the game.
100%, yeah. With however you wanna play it, hard, easy, you can level up, not level up, do challenge runs.
Mhm.
Elden Ring is definitely, uh, good for the people.
One of the greats, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Out of, like, all the games I've played, Elden Ring and other FromSoft games are definitely in the top 10, 100%.
Mhm.
I think it
Mine
might be one of my favorites, to be honest.
I got, like, Elden Ring at number 1 and then Hollow Knight at number 2, but hopefully Silk Song is even better, and it can shoot past both of them.
That is true. Well, dog, it sounds like a circus is going on upstairs.
It's
It
awesome.
literally no, I hear people, like, falling over and just, like, the screams.
Are they alive?
I mean, yeah, it seems like that, hopefully.
That's good.
If not, sorry.
Tough
Anyway,
shit.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, do you think there should be any changes to Elden Ring? It could be any type of change. Um, I know it's kind of just like a broad term.
Anything I'd change? That might be the hardest question. That might be the hardest question yet.
Well, would you like if I went first so you can have more time to, think?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So personally with me, there's not too much, but I do have a little bit to nitpick. Uh, for example, when you go down, I you don't really go down there often, but when you go and do the parkour down into the frenzied finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, whatever it is,
Mhm.
and the frenzy, it's a hard time. I would say please, like, make it a little bit easier to parkour down. It's one of the hardest sections, um, especially if you're trying to just do it fast, you will die. You have to take so long to
Mhm.
make your way all the way down. So I'd say give me some more platforms, um, And then the other thing is it's just, like I said, it's just a little bit of nitpicking, is make, like, expand upon the mountaintops. The mountaintops is this big grand area in the map, and you go through, like, not even half of it because, like, it looks bigger on the map than it actually is.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, just expand it. It looks bigger on the map, make it bigger. Um, it's like, if we're taking away, like, some of the stuff, it's kind of the size of, like, almost like Limgrave and Weeping Peninsula or maybe even Caelid. Um, it's not as big as, you first think about it because most of it you can't reach because it's like a cliff. Um, so if it was just, like, bigger or like, maybe some more, like, cities or like an overall boss that's not like a dragon,
Mhm.
you could have, like, a nighttime boss or whatever, just somewhere or something, like, it just feels very barren over there. 'Cause once you go into there, you're not really thinking, "Okay, let's go to the Zhentar ruins," and no, you immediately are just like, "Okay, let's go to Fire Giant," and you don't really spend more time over there. It's just like, "Oh, okay, I'm here now," for the most
I,
part.
it's a very I don't really ever think about that until now. That's a very good opinion, very good take on that.
It's very open.
I think I got mine, and it's something very little. I guess I have 2 things, I guess.
Alright.
Uh, I hate that, like, if you wanted to play with your friends, how, uh, if you run out of the remedies that you have to use to summon your friends,
Yeah.
your friend couldn't drop you more if he had more than you. Like, you had to go and farm the resources yourself, and I always
Yeah.
found that very, very annoying and tedious because the only consistent way to get them is through PvP, and I don't really enjoy PvP all too much in the Dark
Yeah.
Souls games, so it's very annoying to me.
100%. I definitely understand that.
And then the other thing I had is something very, very tiny. Uh, I wish when the game originally came out, you could have put armor on, damn, how'd I forget his name?
Point.
Torrent, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish you could have just customized Torrent, but now they're adding it with the new free DLC coming out.
Oh, that's cool. Torrent is cool. Um, imagine, like, dressing up Torrent in, like, Malekith's armor.
That'd be really cool. The armors they've shown have been okay looking. I'm just happy in general that you can, customize them now, here or
Yeah.
soon at least.
It definitely makes sense, especially because, I mean, Torrent has his own health bar,
Mhm.
uh, so it just makes plenty of sense. Um, if there was another installment, like an Elden Ring 2, so, Elden Ring 2, or if you wanna say Night Rain, uh, would you want any NPCs, locations, or bosses to return, either as an Easter egg or as a part of the main game? So, you could think Night Rain, or you could start thinking, like, if there was an Elden Ring 2,
Mhm.
uh I mean, it's probably not likely, but who knows?
I think if we got an Elden Ring 2, I'd want it to be a prequel. So, like, before the events of what we went through, I'd
Yeah.
like to fight I'd love to fight Godwyn. That's
Yeah,
the
Prime.
characters in Elden Ring I want to fight someday.
Yeah,
And then, also, like, Prime Placitus Axe would be really, really cool,
100%, yeah.
or, like, a Prime Bale, because there's a lot of we always just seem to fight bosses when they're at their weakest, which I think is kind of not boring, but I just wish we coulda seen what they were like.
Yeah, um, I definitely understand with that type of, scenario, and the thing is, uh, we could even do it, like, a little bit differently. So, for example, uh, what am I trying to say? Like, there could be, like, a cutscene of who I don't remember exactly who fought Plastidusex. Was that Bale, or was
Yeah,
that
it was Bill.
yeah. So, like, we could, like, enter the boss room, and they're already pre-fighting, like, what they did with Abyss Watchers,
Mhm.
and, like, it could show that both of them are there, and then, like, Bale sees the tarnish and, like, runs away.
Yeah,
Or, like, it doesn't have to be like that, but, like, that's, like, the vibes I can get, or, like, Godwin, like, killing people, whatever or whatever, like, just other things like that. It makes sense. Or we could see people, like, being born, for example, we could see, um, like, very, very young Margot or whatever, uh, whether depends on how far we're going back in the timeline because we could, just be, like, 10 years and we'd be like, "Oh, look, it's more young Margot, it's young other one." But
yeah,
or we could go even further back and we could, like, be like, "Oh my gosh, this baby right here is Radon," or "This baby is, Radagon, my bad."
that would
So,
definitely be cool.
yeah, that I could definitely see the prequel doing well, depends on how they do it as well.
Mhm. I
Um,
I have hopes to see Godwin and Night Rain. I'm not letting go of that just yet.
that is true. They've been cooking. They've been cooking with, quite a lot of their most recent titles,
Yeah,
um, and everything. I do hope for an Elden Ring too. I feel like that'd go pretty crazy. Like I said, I don't really see it being in the future because most of the story has been resolved, but some of the problems in the past or, like, seeing, what's his name? Uh, let's see. Um, I'm looking it up right now. Elden Ring. Yeah, so, like, seeing Godfrey, being, like, exiled, like, you step
oh,
into his boss
yeah.
room or, like, we are in where he got exiled
That would be
instead of,
so
like, the
cool.
Limgrave, and then, like, maybe on the very, very edge of the map is, like, "Oh, on the other side of this deep sea is known as Limgrave," and, like, it, like, kinda ties in, so it's like a full map.
Mhm.
Because it would make sense to just kind of have hints that, "Oh, yeah, by the way, Limgrave is over here," or whatever, like, "Oh, yeah, the place where the fire like, those are big names, obviously, in the world, but, like, if we went somewhere else, like where Godfrey was exiled, would be pretty nice.
They could do a lot of there's a lot of potential with, like, an Elden Ring 2 being, like, a prequel or just in some other lands,
Oh, yeah.
and they have,
They
like Go on.
they have just a lot of ideas, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they have, like I think Miyazaki said that they're working on, like, 20 plus projects right now,
Gosh, that's
so
crazy.
that that could be one of them. Hopefully.
That's a lot of projects. What would they
Or
be working on?
I guess not working on, but they have them lined up, I guess.
Yeah. That's like the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, makes me excited.
Now I'm just wondering on what they were talking about.
Dark Souls 4, hopefully.
True. Speaking of, there is the Dark Souls 4. What I forgot what it was called. The mod. That seems to be really cool. Have you
I've not
seen
heard
that?
about that. Mm-mm. Does it have a
Um,
specific name or is it called just Dark Souls 4?
I forgot the name. It's a Dark Souls 3 mod, that takes the
Archthrones?
Archthrones, that's what it is.
Yeah, that one looks crazy.
That's one of the reasons I want a PC, because that just looks really sick,
Mhm.
and everything like that. I really do hope they keep going. I mean, they're cooking. They have a lot of great
Agreed.
ideas. Um, hopefully they continue. Um, and when they don't, it's gonna be a sad time. But
Be a very sad time.
that is all the questions that I have for you for the
Alrighty.
day. So thank you for coming to the podcast and everything,
Of
and
course.
everything
It was
like that. You
fun.
have any final words that you would like to say?
Mm, not really. It was fun though. I enjoyed this.
Go check them out. I'm gonna put them in the description, um, and everything like
Sweet.
that. And yeah, um, click this video if you want to see more. And yeah, goodbye.